So, welcome to the Devi School virtual tour, an open day to get to know our offerings, in-person offerings, and as well as online offerings, online self-paced courses that you can do on your own timing, or online courses where we're going to meet virtually live. So let's begin with a prayer to the goddess, because in our Devi school, we always start with prayers, we end with prayers. Devi means goddess, comes from the root div, the Sanskrit root div. Probably the word divine comes from the Sanskrit root div, which means she who shines, div, she who is self-shining, she who is self-evident. So what means self-shining? Self-shining means that she doesn't need something else to be shining. Just like the sun, our beautiful sun that wakes up every morning to give us light, the sun doesn't need another sun to be luminous. By itself, its own nature, it is light, it is luminous. And everything that the sun touches, it lights up, it's being lit up. And so we say that Devi, the goddess, like the first meaning of Devi is goddess, but then what does goddess really mean? It's a word that is used widely and wildly. And it's rare that we really inquire into the meaning of goddess. In Devi school, in our school, we really go into depths and into on all levels, really into the understanding of what the goddess is, and not only understand it, but to really also feel her, experience her, and eventually be her, embodying her. So first meaning of God, of Devi, goddess. And then the second or inner meaning is she who shines, she who is self-shining, and she who shines everything up. So she gives light, shines, she who gives light, which means existence to this whole universe. So when you use the word shine, it means also she who gives existence, which means life, which she gives being. So she is the true being, that which really is, that which really exists. Everything else comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes. It's temporary. But we say that Devi, she is permanent. We can never get rid of her. She cannot be destroyed. She cannot be killed. She cannot be cut. She cannot be wet. She cannot be flooded. She cannot be dried out. She cannot be burned. She's the existence itself. And so we are in Devi school offering our love, our gratitude, our reverence, our prayers to her, because we say that she is really the source of everything. She's the source of our own existence. She's the source of this whole universe. And she's also the source of everything that we want. And she's the fulfiller of all our wishes. And she is really the grace factor. She's that because of which everything exists. So everything we experience, everything we feel, hear, smell, taste, touch, she is the source, she is the mother. And we say that she is fit to be honored, she's fit to be admired, she's fit to be worshipped. And so when we offer prayer to her, we are invoking that goddess, we're invoking that principle, we're invoking those qualities. And so here, let's begin with a little prayer to the goddess, so that we can have a beautiful time here, and that the words can flow eloquently, and that I can share with you all our offerings, and you can also get something out from this Devi School Tour. So if you would like, you can close your eyes and take a deep breath. Exhale, and take a moment to soften into the presence of your own being, that silent presence that we often don't pay attention to. And as you inhale, you fill up your whole body temple with new life force, new prana. And on the exhalation, you let go of tension, mentally, physically. And one more deep inhalation. And on the exhalation, a deep sigh out. And if it feels right for you, you can place the hands together in front of your heart. This is called the Namaste or Anjali Mudra, the gesture of reverence, the gesture where we touch our own heart so that we can touch each other's hearts and melt like a salt doll in the ocean in unconditional love. So the mantra is Om Devyai Namaha. Namaha, my reverential salutation, my invocation, my prayers to she who shines, she who is the source, she who gives existence to me, to you, to all of us. She who is permanent, trustworthy, infallible being. If you know the mantra, you can chant already with me. Otherwise, listen one time and then repeat after me. Om Devyai Namaha. Om Devyai Namaha. Om Devyai Namaha. Two more times. Om Devyai Namaha. Om Devyai Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om is that which protects, and Shanti means peace. Let there be peace on all levels. Freedom from pain. And then we can slowly open our eyes. So thank you for joining in this prayer. Okay. So here you see the goddess, and she has two wings. And you see our logo also, Devi School, has two wings. And the wings represent, we use this example a lot in our teaching tradition, the two wings of a bird, or two wings so that we can fly. And flying represents freedom. And so Devi School is really all about here to support you, me, all of us to discover our freedom. In Sanskrit, freedom we call Moksha, comes from the root much. And much means to be free. Moksha means freedom. And so freedom from what? Freedom from everything that I don't want. What do I not want? Pain and suffering. And I don't want to feel guilty. It's very painful when I feel guilty. And I don't want to feel hurt. So as human beings, we all suffer from this hurts. We either feel guilty because I have done something that I regret, that I shouldn't have done. I hurt someone and I feel guilty. Or someone has done something to me and I feel hurt. So then I feel like the victim. So those are the two ways we feel discomfort. And everything else really like all pain that is there that we can study in detail, you will see that when we boil it down, it always comes down to these two, either being hurt by someone, or I feel guilty because I have done something wrong, or in my perception that I shouldn't have done. And so really speaking, the Veda, which is the body of knowledge that we use in our Devi School with a lot of reverence and gratitude, which is our means to know these things, like we have our eyes to know what we see, we have our ears to hear what we hear. in the Devi school, we use mainly the Veda, which is the body of knowledge, to know ourselves as already being a free and whole and complete being. We also use many other tools, like psychological tools, inner child meditation, the wisdom of trauma, embodiment work, somatic experience, etc. I'll talk about that. But our main tool, or our main source, our main means that we rely upon and that we use are the Vedas, being that body of knowledge that comes from India. And the Veda is considered to be like our eyes, to see those things, to understand and know those things that we cannot know by ourselves. So freedom, moksha, according to Veda, is an already accomplished fact. It says we are whole and complete here and now. And so that is our main, really our main goal, our main purport of Devi School. The main purpose of Devi School is here to help you, me, all of us to discover that fact. I am free, no matter what. No matter how much pain you have gone through in your life, no matter how many traumas, no matter how many desires you have, no matter what you want to become, we validate all of that. We will include all of that. We will honor all of that, every single experience that you've had, every single desire that you have. We're in full support of that. But one thing is, like, if we only focus on all the pain that has happened to us, or all the trauma, or if we only focus on what we desire and what we want to become, we're never okay here and now. We're either living in the past, ruminating about what has happened, or we are living in the future, just thinking of what I want to become. And so that means I'm not accepting myself as I am here and now. And that's so painful, because all I want is to accept myself. That's really all I want. I want to be able to love myself. And I can never love myself unless I am a whole and complete being. And so as long as I identify with my past, as long as I just desire to be someone in the future, that means I haven't discovered that I'm a whole and complete being. Like, I'm identifying with what has happened, and I make a judgment upon myself, like, this has happened to me, I'm a victim of this. Or I'm thinking I have to become this, so then I will be loved, and I will be acceptable, and then I will be happy. And that is all because I think I have made the conclusion I am not whole and complete here and now. Something has happened to me, or I have to become something. And it means I cannot accept myself here and now. And I cannot accept myself here and now because I think I am not whole and not complete. I am bound. I am not free. That's the conclusion we have made as human beings. I'm bound by the limitation of my body. I was born, I'm going to die. I'm identifying with the aging of my body. I'm too old, I'm too wrinkly, I'm too gray, I'm not flexible enough, I'm too fat, I'm too thin. I'm not intelligent enough. I have to become more intelligent. I have to study more. I have to become more sexy and more orgasmic. It's always this desire of I want to become someone else than I am here and now. Like I say, we validate that. We all want that. And it's so important to honor our desires, to listen to our desires, because they tell us what we want. But in Devi School, we go a little bit further. We validate all the desires and we help these desires to fulfill them within dharma, within universal values. But at the same time, while fulfilling all those desires, we also make this extra step and ask, what is really behind that desire? Like, what is behind? What is the core desire of all these desires that I have? Because I will always have more desires. I will always want to become more. I will always want to neutralize my past and heal my traumas. And there will always be more. Like, I have had countless lives. Maybe that's a new information for me. Many of us in the West, we believe that we only have had one life. Even if I've only had one life, I've experienced so many moments in this life, and there's so much to process from this life already, right? So there will always be more things to be processed. But if we consider, or if we believe that we have had many lives, in the Veda we say we have had countless lives. That means I will always have more experiences to be processed, to be assimilated, to be understood. And so it's never ending, that part, going into the past and heal. And there will always be more that I can become. Like I can always become more flexible. I can always become more beautiful. I can make the first rank in my ski town, in my town where I grew up, and make the first rank in my school. And then from my school, I can go to high school and I can become the first person there. And then I can go to university and I can become the first person there. And then I can strive to go to the Olympics and I can become the first person there. And then what after the Olympics? Okay, maybe now I want to become president. Okay, now I'm president. Okay, now what? Okay, now I'm going to become Lord of the Sun. Okay, and now what? So there will always be more that I can become. And so in both directions, there will always be more. It's never ending. And yes, like I said, we validate all of those desires. We help to fulfill those desires, but we do also inquire further, like, what is that core desire? Like, why do I want that? What's behind all these desires? And we call that the mother desire. What's the mother desire? Why do I want all of that? And so that inquiry leads me to the depths of my being. It leads me, first of all, to myself, because I will be confronted with the question, what am I? Like, am I really this incomplete person that I have taken myself to be? Am I really not acceptable the way I am here and now? Like, am I really subject to time? Am I really going to die? I will come in touch with these fundamental questions of life that so many people are afraid to ask, because once I start to ask them, the answers are there. And then the answers are sometimes shocking, because once I hear the answer, then I realize, wow, certain things that I've done in my life, or certain things I've strived for, certain things that I've sacrificed, maybe my relationship for, weren't really necessary. I mean, they were necessary because I had to go through that experience, and without that, I wouldn't be here today. But often we come to this moment and then realize, wow, certain things I wanted them so badly, and I even compromised values, my values as a human being, or even universal values, where I hurt somebody. And so then that brings me in touch with guilt and the hurt that has been there, always has been there, and that really was not caused by someone or something outside of myself, but really has been there in me because of wrong conclusions that I have made upon myself. That incapacity of accepting myself is because I don't know what I am. I've taken myself to be a limited, incomplete being. And the truth is that I am the opposite. I am a limitless and whole and complete being. And once I discover that, my whole life changes. Like, nothing is going to be the same like it was before. Nothing is going to be the same like it was before. It's like a death that takes place, not a physical or literal death, but it's a death of yourself, of that notional self, not the real self. The real self cannot die, but that person that has been created, that ego, that personality, that big, like we call it the ahankara, that big notional I, that personality, that is going to die. I'm going to discover that I'm not what I thought I was. And so that is a very intense experience. And through that death, what happens is we're going to be reborn again, but reborn to what I truly am. I will be recognizing the truth of what I am. And the truth is that I am a limitless, whole, and complete being. And from that point onward, your life is not going to be the same anymore, because everything you do now is not anymore for the sake of becoming whole or happy or complete. It's out of wholeness and completeness, out of love, not for love, out of happiness, not for happiness. So that's a complete shift. And it's the most beautiful death birthing experience. It's the most beautiful shift in life that can take place, really. That's the gift of life, of the goddess that she has given to us as human beings. That possibility to discover that you are a free, whole, and complete being. That moksha, freedom, is your birthright. It is an already accomplished fact. So that's the greatest gift we have been given from the goddess. And in Devi School, we're dedicated and committed to discovering that fact with all the tools, all the devotional practices, and the teachings that are there available to us, along with all the more modern tools that nowadays also have been given to us. They were necessary because of the times we live in, because of the structure we grew up with, so societal structure, cultural structure, religious structure. There's so many conditions and ways that we were born into and have grown up with, that nowadays it's very important to also be aware of that. And that's why so many new modalities also have emerged that are very important and necessary and help and support that main purpose, which is to discover moksha, that you are free, whole, and complete here and now. So then with this, everything that I do, everything that I heal or pursue, it becomes meaningful. And so this is the representation of these two wings. I started with, we have these two wings so that we can fly, and flying representing moksha, freedom. Freedom from what? Everything I don't want. What do I not want? Guilt and hurt. I want to be free. That's all I want. And so one of the wing represents that knowledge, that freedom that is already an accomplished fact. That's not something that I'm going to become. It's already here and now, and it's something that I got to discover as an already accomplished fact here and now. And that we do through knowledge. So one of the wing represents knowledge, jnana. We call that jnana in Sanskrit. And the other wing represents that maturity, that emotional, psychological maturity that is necessary in order to discover that I am already a whole and complete being. And so that other wing represents action, doing, healing, transforming, going out into the world and becoming a contributor, doing my spiritual practices, doing my sadhanas, taking care of my body temple, doing my rituals, doing my chanting, doing my embodiment, somatic experience, embodiment rituals, coming to women's circles and connect with others so that I can get out of this sense that I'm a separate, alienated being that so many people feel in this world. They don't feel connected to their lands. They don't feel connected to their family. They don't feel connected to their community. They don't feel connected to nature. Most people feel completely disconnected and they feel alone and alienated. And so that we have to neutralize. How do we neutralize that? Through action, 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 engaging, using all our will to reconnect to ourselves, to our bodies, to our minds, to our emotions, to our past, to our desires, and reconnecting to each other, and honoring and cherishing the relationships that we have. And so the two wings representing what? Knowledge and action. So action, all the devotional practices, and that gives then emotional maturity. And that emotional maturity, that person that is emotionally mature, integrated, that person is a fit person, a fit student. We call it an adhikari, a fit student to understand, discover, see for themselves that they are already whole and complete and free here and now, which happens through the other wing, which represents knowledge. And so that is the representation of these two wings. There's a lot of meaning in there. And so both together represents moksha, freedom. And that is what is our school all about. And that's why here also in the picture, we are offering that to the goddess with these two wings, because what we want is freedom. And we're following these two pursuits. One is following knowledge, and the other pursuit is following action, a life of activity. So our free offerings, we're going to start with our free offerings for those that are financially right now in a moment where it's a little bit, it's not possible to spend any money, which is in complete order. I have been there in my life. I know exactly how it feels. And it's a very important and very beautiful moment in our life when we don't have any money to spend because it triggers all our scarcity and all our fears of survival. And there's so much learning in this. There's so much healing that can take place when we don't have any money, because that's where we got to be in that seat of receiving, of letting the goddess really come in the form of many different ways, and people and clothes and money and donations and support, where we got to be in that receiver seat, which is so difficult for so many of us because it triggers our sense of unworthiness. Because we all grew up in a society where we got to do so much and work so hard and put so much effort for in order to deserve anything in life. And so that's a very strong pattern that many of us grew up with. And so this is so beautiful to heal that pattern, to discover that I'm worthier than the worthiest to receive, to be supported. And just because the offerings are for free, they are nothing less than superb and magnificent and amazing. Like in every of my program, I give 100,000%, and I don't really make a difference between if it's a free mistress class, a free Navaratri Festival, or if it is a paid program from a one-day paid program, a retreat, or an 18-month course. I put the same heart and the same love and the same depth into all my programs. So we have a lot of free offerings because, like I said, I have been in this point in my life where I didn't have any money, and I was so dependent on people sharing their knowledge freely, and where I was able to just give donation, or whenever I was possible to give something. Sometimes I gave back through simply being grateful. Often I gave back through service, through doing service work, or seva, we call that, like supporting in other ways, creating a manual, go and do errands, go shopping, do administrative work. Like there's so many ways of giving back. And so that is also a big part of our Devi School, that if we don't have finances, you can give back in so many other ways, or simply through your gratitude, or simply sharing this about Devi School with your friends that could benefit from Devi School. So our free offering, the first one, starts with the Goddess Initiation, which is a 36-day online guided journey to the temple of your heart and the power of your yoni. So that's our, you can sign up for that. And maybe Sylvia can post the links in the chat as we go through all the programs. Thank you, Sylvia Devi. And this is a 36 days where when you sign up, you are having access to our Devi School platform, and the different classes and initiations will be dripped, will be made available every so often, usually like once a week. And so this is a beautiful journey with great mistress classes for you to start your journey of awakening the goddess. This is really great for people who are new to Be Woman Project and to Devi School, and to want to get a sense of what we offer. But it's also great for those that already have been exposed to us or to other schools of the goddesses and want to reconnect, reawaken, and reinforce their relationship to the goddess and to themselves. Then we have a product or a course called Satsang. Satsang are classes that I gave in the past where my students ask questions, these very fundamental questions of life, and where I answer questions like, what is the mother desire? What is the fundamental problem of life? How can I spiritualize my life? So there are great topics in there that are related to you as that whole and complete being, and help you see that you are a whole and complete being, and also see how come that we have taken ourselves to not be a whole and complete being. We address topics around the world and the goddess, and also there is a beautiful class on the vision of oneness, where I unfold how you, the goddess, and the world are one whole and complete being. So there are beautiful classes in there, and we also regularly upload new classes up there to the Satsang. Silvia also is going to post the link. Satsang means, Sangha means connection or relationship with Sat. Sat means truth. So it's a moment of truth, in other words. Then the next free offering is the whole Return to Wholeness series. That is a beautiful series of 6 in-depth mistress classes. We call them mistress classes instead of master classes, because Devi School is all about reclaiming words that have been demonized, words that are being used to relate only to the masculine side of us. So we pay a lot of attention to reclaim words, and especially words that have maybe a very heavy connotation, and see how they are actually sacred and beautiful and powerful. So this Return to Wholeness series is dedicated to your power, to the sacred, to discovering how I can ritualize my life. Is dedicated to your sexuality, dedicated to wholeness. There is a class on discovering how we can live freely. It's dedicated to your worthiness. So this is really great, because if we have that fear of money, fear and scarcity mindset, there's a beautiful class on healing your sense of unworthiness and guilt and fear and anger that comes around money. And also there's a beautiful class to discover the bond of true sisterhood. So 6 full 1.5 hour classes dedicated to the sacredness, to your body, to the teaching of wholeness, to money, healing our money wounds, and healing our connection to each other. Silvia also is going to put the link in there. So these are the 3 offerings that are online, self-paced. So the Goddess Initiation, Satsang, and Return to Wholeness, 3 offerings that you can sign up anytime, that are for free and can start anytime, and it is self-paced. Then another free offering we have are our weekly community Devi circles. Here, 4 of our certified women's circle facilitators that have trained with us, they are offering weekly community Devi circles, which are women's circles, where every Sunday or almost every Sunday, there's a particular topic. For example, this coming Sunday, I think it's the inner child, then it was the mother, it was about acceptance, about anger. We choose the different topics, and then our amazing women's circle facilitator will hold the space according to our values of Devi School, and support a space where we can find the courage to speak up, to be seen, to be heard, and reclaim that sense of belonging, which is so important in order to discover that we are already a free, whole, and complete being, to discover Moksha. So they are happening every Sunday. They are live, they are online, but they are live interactions taking place via Zoom. So these are, and then we have, of course, our Navaratri Festival, which many of you joined. That is also for free. That is happening every year. Now we run it 3 times, and then our prayer is to run it every year. during the Sharada Navaratri season, which is in autumn, the 9 nights and 10 days of the goddess, which many of you have joined. And if you have not joined live and you would like to experience the Navaratri Festival, which is really amazing, we have the All Access class that is then a paid program to enjoy the Navaratri on your own timing. There you have access to 3 festivals full of classes from around 50 guest speakers and teachers, world-class guest teachers and speakers from around the world, women, spiritual leaders that are really giving stellar classes. And there are 3 sadhanas, 3 9 days sadhanas with pujas and rituals that I have led over those last 3 years to really deepen, awaken, establish your relationship to the goddess. So it's really an amazing product that we have. So now we're going to the online offerings. Online offerings mean online paid offerings. So the first one, which is the cheapest one, is 27 euro. It's called the Living Goddess, which is Ritualize Your Life Play Shop. Instead of workshop, we call them play shop. So it's a play shop which is very complete. There you receive a guide, a booklet. It calls 36 Steps to Ritualize Your Whole Life. So it's a really beautiful play shop where I teach you 36 different mantras, 36 different steps from the moment you wake up or even before you wake up, all the way to the moment when you go to bed, to really embody the goddess, the living goddess. So to really see how every action in life can become a ritual. So for us, we call something a ritual when we add prayers to it. Like as soon as we add a prayer, then it becomes a ritual. It's not just an action. And when we add a prayer, we are acknowledging the grace factor. We're acknowledging the goddess, that she manifests in the form of my body and the capacity that I can wake up this morning and see and hear and smell and taste and touch and walk and do and take a shower and feed myself and dress myself and touch myself, and that I can go to the toilet and that I can go out of the house and that I can take the bus and go to my duty, to my work. So every step of the day is really recognized and seen that it's a gift from the goddess that I've been given, that I cannot take for granted. And so it's a beautiful play shop where I go through the different goddesses that are there in different traditions, not only in the Vedic traditions, and as well as I go through all the different mantras and different rituals with emphasizing the correct pronunciation of the mantras so that you can ritualize your whole life. Because we say that if you ritualize one day, it's equal to ritualizing your whole life. Isn't that cool? So because we can get overwhelmed, think, how am I going to ritualize my whole life? Well, I ritualize my whole life by ritualizing one day, like one moment. That's why we started in the Navaratri sadhana, like this 12 o'clock every day we met, 1.5 hour, boom, ritualizing. There we learned how to bring love and beauty and depth to the actions. And so then that attitude we bring into our whole life. And when we start already with that, when we wake up in the morning, when we go and take a shower, when we prepare food, etc., then we really ritualize our whole life. So there you have the first paid program, the cheapest 27 euro. And if you get that, you have a special upsell to the Devi Mantra class, which is 108 euro, which usually costs 400 euro, with an upsell to a huge course dedicated to the different goddesses of the Vedic tradition. I'll talk about that later. Just a little note. So then we have all the self-paced online Vedic teaching courses. They're called Pearls of Wisdom. They are in-depth study of Sanskrit, Vedic chanting, guided meditation, Vedanta, the value of values, and the Devi Mantra classes. So it's a whole online spiritual heritage and yoga philosophy course, all self-paced, which you can do all as one package, which has a special price of 550 euro. Or you can also do these programs individually. So for example, you want to go deep into understanding your mind and your unconscious, then you could, for example, go and do the Understanding the Mind course that has 20 modules, 20 different, almost 20 different guided meditation, which we also adding all the guided meditation transcripts so that you could lead those meditation also to other people if you're a teacher and want them to lead those guided meditation. We transcribe all of them and they will be added shortly. And it's an in-depth study of understanding the unconscious and see how that is important and complements our studies of the self, of the whole and complete self. So it's a mix of inner child meditation, reimagination meditation to make up for the moments we perceived we didn't get what we needed. It's meditation on the different elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, so that we can really harness the power of the elements. And when we meditate upon the elements, then we become like those elements. Like the elements have great qualities that are very admirable. For example, the sun, like it's luminous. When we meditate upon the sun, our mind becomes as bright as the sun. If we meditate upon the sky, our heart becomes as expansive as the sky. We want our heart to become expansive because we want to discover that we are whole and complete. And so when we meditate upon the quality of the sky, our heart expands. What does that mean? I have more capacity to accept myself and others as they are. It's a capacity to give space to myself and to others. In other words, to give time, to be patient with what is. So they're very beautiful meditations and healing of the mind. Then for those that like mantras and chanting and really want to get the proper pronunciation of the mantras and would even like to learn the Sanskrit script, we have a course on the Sanskrit alphabet and mantra practice. For those that love chanting and want to go really deep into chanting, we have a whole Vedic Shanti prayers course where we go through 10 beautiful Shanti prayers. Like the most famous Shanti prayer is what? Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That's the one everyone knows. There are so many more peace prayers. There's a whole course on 10 prayers dedicated to peace. Then there's a whole course on the teachings of Vedanta, 55 modules. Yes, 55. It's a whole 1-year course, really, if you would do one module a week, where I take you through the depths or the heart of the Vedantic teachings, which is the knowledge of the whole, complete, and limitless self. Then there's the sacred Devi prayers and mantras, which I mentioned before, which is the upsell of the Living Goddess, that mini play shop, where that is included in the online spiritual heritage course, where I take you through the different Vedic goddesses like Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, Annapurneshwari, Shiva Shakti, and you will have one meditation for each goddess. You have one long prayer for each goddess, and we also go through pujas. So there you learn also the Vedic ritual, and you also have 3 classes on embodiment rituals, on trauma and resourcing. So it's like a special course dedicated to only Devi, like the relationship to Devi, but in depth. And then the last course that is included is the Value of Values. That's 22 modules, where I take you through the 20 values that are there in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the heart of the Mahabharata. It's where Krishna teaches to Arjuna, who is the student, the ardent student who wants to gain moksha, wants to gain freedom in this life. And Krishna tells Arjuna, like, you, in order to gain moksha, freedom from all types of suffering, you have to become an integrated, mature person. And we become an integrated, mature person when we again discover the value of values of life, which means living a dharmic life. You probably all have heard the word dharma. And so here, this is an in-depth study of Dharma. What is really Dharma? How can I live a Dharmic life? And how does Dharma protect me? So it's a very beautiful, important course for every sincere spiritual seeker. That's in a nutshell, the whole online spiritual heritage yoga philosophy course, all self-paced. You get everything in one, or you can take every course individual if one of them just interests you. Then we have the first live and pre-recorded course. So now the online courses come that are a mix of pre-recordings and live meetings like we have here now. So the Muse is the Golden Womb Vedic Coaching and Embodiment course. It is a one-year course which starts in March again. If you want, you can start anytime. That means then you have access now to all the pre-recorded material that we started in March. And then you can join from now onward on all the live classes that are happening. And then you have a full year extra that you can join again, all the live classes. So like for you, like you say, like, I want to start now, you can start now and already watch the classes that have gone and join the live and then start a whole new cycle again. And here, what is included, here you have included all of this one. So all these courses that we just went through are included in the Muse. So you get all these courses that you study by yourself on your own pace. Plus you have 6 modules on how to become a coach. So you have 6 modules on how to become a trauma-informed coach, and you have 2 times a month live coaching with me. So where you will get coached and where we then also go through an embodiment ritual to embody really on the topic that is present for the month. So what are the topics, for example? It starts with desires. Then another topic is surrender to the process. Another topic is love to care, sacred sexuality. There are different topics that you all will find on the website, and you see the different topics that are in life topics that we all deal with every single day, and topics that really help us to grow as a human being and as a woman in this life. And so you will get coached on those topics and then also learn how to coach. So it's a 1-year Vedic wisdom studies. The Vedic wisdom are all these courses we went through, and it's a group coaching and feminine embodiment container, which is happening live twice a month. Additionally to 6 live modules on how to become a coach, where you learn what it means to be a feminine embodiment coach, and then you do coaching with the other peers that are there in the course. So that one can join at any time. Otherwise, already watch the classes that have gone and then join what is coming, or you wait until March and start a full new cycle. In the Muse, you have all of this included, plus an extra 30% on all the next 5 online programs that are coming. So you get 30% discount on all the programs that are coming now when you join the Muse. So the first big program that is shorter than a year is our Heritage Journey that is coming up now in 2 weeks. This is a foundational course. Why foundational? Because it has everything. Like it's packed with all the goodies. It is a mix of pre-recorded material that I have recorded professionally in Bali. And then it is the other half is live meeting like now, where we meet for 3 months every single weekend, except during Christmas, New Year. Then we have holidays. So the Heritage Journey is a 3 months online container with pre-recorded material and with live meetings every single weekend. And it is mainly here to really help you discover your own myth, so that you can live by your own myths and not follow anyone else's myths, especially unhealthy myths. So most of us, we all grew up with the Western myth, which is you work really, really hard and you wait for marriage and you get married and then it's the end, like the Cinderella fairy tale story. That's the main myth that most of us grew up with. Like life is all about work, marriage, maybe you even have to wait with sex until you get married, then you have children, and then it's the end. Like that's a very unhealthy myth. The heroine's journey myth is one where marriage is the beginning of our life, where I don't have children in order to become happy and whole and complete. I get married and I have children so that I can grow. I can grow and become the best version of myself. So here you're going to be introduced to the Vedic myth, a myth that is based on how can I die to all the wrong notions and all the wrong conclusions and judgments that I have made upon myself that have kept me small, isolated, disempowered, lonely, and angry and frustrated. And how can I die so that I can truly live, so that I can live and live my fullest potential in this life, where I feel empowered to follow my heart. I feel empowered to do what I want to do with my life, where I can dress what I want, I can say what I want, I can make love the way I want, I can guide myself into the places where I want to be. I can guide myself home, no matter if I am physically at home or not, where I know I'm at home always with myself, and where I then eventually also can guide others. So the heroine's journey, you meet every weekend with me and with my team to go through the week. So you will have every Monday, the course, the topic of the week will be freed. And then you watch by yourself on your own time that week's module, for example, rites of passage. Then you go through the module of rites of passage. And on the weekend, we meet to deepen that topic of the week. Plus, we will have a weekly women's circle. So then every Sunday we meet, except Christmas and New Year, where we then share our experience that we have gone through in this life and how we would like it to be in the future. So that's a way to really get to know yourself, really get to know each other, and it creates a very profound bond. It creates that very strong sisterhood bond. And we have Anneli here and Amanda here, who both have done that journey and probably are happy to share with you how that experience, and Sylvia also is here who has done it, how that journey has been, like to really meet every single weekend. It's a huge commitment, but how it is really worth it. Maybe Anneli and Amanda, you can speak at the end, because Anneli and Amanda have not only done the heroine's journey, they also have done the Muse. Anneli has been in all the other Pearls of Wisdom classes. Amanda is doing the Empress. So at the end, they can share with you in general about the different programs. Thank you so much. I see the hearts there. So the heroine's journey is that. So first, dedicated to your own growth, to really go to the depths of yourself, to get to know all those corners that we didn't want to look at. Then to get to know the goddess, truly what the goddess is, connect to the goddess through prayers and ritual, and then also to each other, to really create a sisterhood that will be with you for the rest of your life. I mean, I see the bond that the cohort has from last year and the previous year. They're still connecting, they're still talking, they're still meeting up. So I can really say that with all my heart, that it creates a long-lasting bond. And then when you go through all the certification requirements, you become a certified Women's Circle facilitator course from Devi School. And you can also then start holding community Devi circles, like those free offerings that we have for our community. You could become one of the community Devi circle. It's also a chance to join us in different programs. Many of our people are supporting and collaborating in many different ways with us after having joined the heroine's journey. And you're also going to learn about Ayurveda for women with Elisa. And yeah, there's so much in there. Go and look. It's like I say, it is it has all the goodies. It really touches on all the main topics, from fertility, sexuality, trauma, inner child, rituals, mantras, how to live a healthy life, how to become a contributor, and also about women's health. So that's the first program that is after the Muse, the 1-year program, which is the Heron's Journey, which starts in 2 weeks for 3 months. After the Heron's Journey, we have the Priestess Initiation Training, which this one you can do self-paced. It's already there. For example, if you want to start now and do it, you can do it now on your own timing, or you can join the next live training, which is happening in Bali, beginning of March. This is a 11-day course where we go through the 7 major rites of passage that we go through as a human being. So what are the 7 major rites of passage? It is birth, studies, menarche, sexuality, motherhood, menopause, and death. So we go through these stages in life to make up for what we maybe didn't get, the initiation we didn't get, but to also prepare ourselves for those that are yet to come. So this is a beautiful training where my partner Joseph joins. He's a master drummer, and we also really learn how to hold space, how to use the drum for healing ceremonies, and we learn the Vedic rituals so that we can do this ritual for ourselves again and again and again, but also for our community. So this is really a beautiful complement to the Heron's Journey, because the Heron's Journey, you learn general topics, like many different topics that you can hold women's circle confidently on all kinds of different topics. And then with the priestess training, you can also lead ceremonies for your community. Like somebody in your community is getting their period, you can lead a menarche ceremony. Somebody is getting married, you can lead a marriage ceremony. Yeah, the marriage, I didn't talk about marriage, but marriage is part of the 7. You can lead a marriage ceremony. Somebody gets a baby, then you can lead a baby ceremony. Somebody gets their menopause, you can lead a menopause ceremony. So the rites of passage are those ceremonies that we all need as a human being to get a sense of worthiness and belonging. It's the 2 main factors that are needed to really have a sense of relative wholeness. And so ceremonies and rites of passage bestows that, a sense of worthiness and belonging. And the priestess training is really one of my favorite trainings. It's so full of life and beauty, especially when it's being done live. So I've run it now once online. That's why we have it available for those that cannot travel to Bali. I don't think I'm going to run it online again so in short time. Maybe I will one day, but it's there if one cannot travel to Bali. So you can do it all on your own. There are beautiful recordings there with a whole priestess manual, with every ceremony detailed, described, and the drum journeys, and many medicine songs are there also taught by Marlia. There's also a Balinese, 3 Balinese ceremonies included that are being done by a Balinese priestess, Prana Shanti. So that is there for self-paced. Or you can join the live training in Bali, which is beginning of March. After the priestess training, we have the Rising Witch. So the Rising Witch is also available self-paced already now. If you want to start, it's a sacred sexuality. It's a trauma-informed sacred sexuality course. So it's a 5-week container where we go through the 5 elements, the 5 key ingredients to embody a healthy, integrated sacred sexuality, where you reclaim your body image, healing shame profoundly, and reclaiming your sexuality and your sexual energy, and know what to do with your sexual energy. The main is really learning how to use your sexual energy for sacred manifestation and healing and empowerment. There we learn sex magic. So it's a beautiful course that is trauma informed. So there's a whole course on the wisdom of trauma with Beta Lisboa. Her new name is Guyana, and where she joins and teaches everything about trauma, the wisdom of trauma, and then that is integrated in the sacred sexuality embodiment rituals. So that is available online, self-paced, or also again, it will run next year in around April or May, live online. After the Rising Witch, we have the Living Wisdom Teacher. So the Living Wisdom Teacher is dedicated to the teachings of Vedanta and the Vedic wisdom. So this is for those that really want to go deep into the knowledge of the self, the limitless, whole, and complete self, like moksha, jnana, that one wing of the bird, which is knowledge. So it's 7 modules where we dwell into the heart of the Vedic teachings and discover how we are a whole and complete being. So we use the Veda as a means of knowledge to see our essential wholeness and to discover how I am the source of love, happiness, and security. So it's a beautiful course that is available self-paced. You can start it anytime, or it will run again mixed, pre-recorded, and live next year around July. This one also comes with a 48-day sadhana, where then after the course, you do a 48-day sadhana and have access to different pre-recorded material so that you can become a living wisdom teacher also. So it takes a year. You have 1 year time in order to become a certified living wisdom teacher, where then you can also share this teaching and this knowledge based on what is in this course. Then we have the Reign Queendom. This is a beautiful 7-module course that happens over 2 months that is dedicated to your heart womb aligned offering. So this is really great for those that already have an idea of what they want to share with the world. You already have done some courses. You already know that you want to lead Women's Circle. You want to be a coach. You want to be a teacher, but you have a little bit difficulty to really bring out your offerings into the world. There are some money wounds. There are lack of confidence. So here we give, in these 7 modules, the key and the energetics so that you can feel more confident and have also a strategy of how to go out into the world and share your offerings. So there we talk about Instagram. There we talk about a marketing strategy. There we're going to talk about fears and money blockages. And it is here to help you come into alignment with your heart and your womb, and also really energetically align yourself to the people that you want to serve. So at the moment, this course is included in the Empress. I haven't talked about the Empress. The Empress is the 18 months journey, which is the complete journey with everything included. At the moment, the Reign Queendom is for those that join the Empress. We may make it available also as a separate program that is standing by itself. But at the moment, it's included only in the Empress program, which I will talk in a moment. The Reign Queendom happens around this time, September, October. Then the Empress. Now I'm going to talk about the Empress. So the Empress is she who has it all. So the Empress is, you have everything included that I've just talked about. It's a full cycle of Devi School, 18 months live online container, where you have the Muse, like that 1 year Vedic wisdom studies, coaching and embodiment course included, 12 months. You have the Heroine's Journey, 3 months included. You have the Priestess Training included. You have the Living Wisdom Teacher included, the Vedanta studies. You have the Reign Queendom included. You have the Rising Witch included, the Sacred Sexuality. Everything is included in the Empress. It's for those that really want to be with us for a long period of time and really have all the support emotionally, teaching-wise, that you have access to all of it and have the leisure to really be with this teaching, be with the tools, and let them grow upon you, and you have time to really grow into them. So Amanda is part of that course. She will talk in a moment about it, and it's really it's the Maha signature program, I would say. We run it now the first time this year, and now next year will be the new cycle with the Heroine's Journey. It's in improvement all the time, and if you join that, you will also always be able to join every course that we're running again. So if you join this, you can join the Priestess next year again. You can join the Rising Witch again. You can join the Heron's Journey. Not everything, like for example, the closed Devi circles, there you cannot join because that's particularly for the group. But like all the classes we're running again, you can join every time again and just so can be with us, go and come back. You also have a closed group, WhatsApp group with me, where we're constantly in touch and you can ask your questions anytime. I'm answering, I'm available really a lot, like as friends and sisters. It's really special. So that's the Empress, she who has it all. It is here to help you become a trauma-informed feminine wisdom teacher, coach, and leader of your time. So these are the online programs. And now just a little bit more. Thank you so much for your attention. Just going into the in-person offerings. In-person means not virtually. We meet in person, in flesh and blood, which I love. Amazing. The first one is the Priestess Initiation Training, which I talked before, which we run in beginning of March, which is the almost 2 weeks container to go through all the rites of passage with all the beauty of Bali and the flowers and the ceremonies. It's really, really special. Sylvia was there. She can talk about it in a little moment. Then we have the Sacred Woman Retreat, which I run. It's an trauma-informed sacred sexuality retreat, which is between 3 and 5 days, which I run in Sweden. I run it in Italy. I am planning to run it in Bali and anywhere else, maybe Mexico. People have been inviting me. It is just to really be together as women, to honor our bodies and really do all these juicy practices together. It's really very much experiential, very much witchy, very much priestess-like, very much just magical, where we're in the forest and in the spa, because I love spa, in the waters, and really nurture and pamper and really awaken that sexual power that lives within all of us. So this one is, if you want to join me anytime, I already have the dates for Sweden next year. It's happening in August, in Italy in July, and in Bali this year. I'm planning to do it, but I don't have the dates yet. And yeah, Mexico, I've been invited. So let's see. If you want to come to Mexico, let me know. Then I have the annual Vedanta retreat. This I've been running for 4 or 5 years in Sweden, in Röstanke, in south of Sweden, close to Malmö, close to Copenhagen. It's a 3-day retreat where we just are together in the teachings of Vedanta with puja and meditation. It's very sweet. It's very gentle, but very deep. So there we don't really do embodiment rituals. We have some yoga there also, but it's really just to be in the teachings of Vedanta, which is like be in that vision of wholeness, where it's not about doing anything, but it's all about just being yourself and seeing how it is true that I am a whole and complete being here and now. So it's a very beautiful, nurturing retreat happening in Sweden every year. Next year date is from the 15th to the 17th of September. And maybe one day I'll do it in Bali as well. But for now, at the moment, it's happening in Sweden. And if anyone wants to organize it somewhere else, you can tell me and it's possible to organize. And then the last part is my signature offering, which is working one-on-one with me. So I do one-on-one coaching, which are really, Annalie has done it also. We can talk about that. It's where you and I meet one-on-one, online or in person, both is possible, to help you really accomplish your goals, like to help you get closer to your goals, but at the same time also to heal what desires to be healed, to empower you to come over these unconscious blockages that are there, these obstacles that are there, the ways we have been manipulating and sabotaging our own spiritual and feminine growth. So the coaching can be on sacred sexuality, it can be on spirituality, it can be on leadership, relationship, life transitions, rites of passage, and money I haven't written here. But those are like the main topics. And I include the Vita methodology. I'm a sex, love, and relationship coach from Leila Martin, the Tantric Institute by Leila Martin. So I apply all the somatic experiences and the specialized methods that are being taught from Leila Martin Institute. They are really amazing, and I have done them, dedicated my time to study them, and all of those tools I bring in also in my other programs. But here we really have time to laser focus on you, so you get really that personal attention, personal relationship with me. So that is available. You can work with me one time only, which can be 1.5 to 2 hours, or you can sign up for the 10 session program where we meet over 2.5 months, once a week. And then I have my yoga teacher trainings, where I am the yoga philosophy teacher or yoga knowledge teacher. So if you are into yoga and want to become a yoga teacher, then I can recommend you Megan Curry's yoga teacher training, where I teach. I can recommend you Daniela Garcia Soha yoga teacher training. They're both happening in Bali. Taryn Wegeler from Loka Yoga School, also happening in Bali. And Sky, my dear brother, from Sama Yoga teacher training and Vadika Dharma. We run them together in Bali, and he runs them also in Sweden. So this one are the yoga teacher trainings I teach along with. Megan Curry has her very particular own style, very feminine, very powerful. Daniela does a mandala yoga, which is including Vedic mythology and a 360-degree vinyasa practice. Taryn goes very much into general or traditional hatha yoga and yin yoga. And Sky is one of a kind, beautiful yoga teacher. He brings in all the Vedantic teaching also, because we have the same teacher, but Daniela actually also has the same teacher like I have. But Sky really brings in a lot of chanting. He also has studied Vedanta and Vedic teachings and puja, along with his wife Sanna for many, many years. They have the same teacher that I have, Swami Vagishananda Radha and Puja Swamiji. And so they have been leading yoga teachers trainings for more than 10 years, holistic, integrated, and full of heart, like very heart. And the beauty of Sama Yoga is really everyone can practice it. Like Megan Curry, Daniela, Taryn, beautiful, most wonderful, but it's not for every body. Like it requires that certain stamina. With Sama Yoga, you can, anybody, even if some body parts are not functioning perfectly anymore, Sama Yoga works. So I really love that. So this is the Devi School Tour. Thank you so much for staying with me. And it's been an honor and pleasure to take you through our Devi School offerings. I would love for Amanda and Annalie, if you have a moment, to just share your experience. Oh, and actually, Mariana has been on the Sacred Woman retreat with me in Sweden. And so maybe Mariana also would like to say a few words. That would be amazing. And Sylvia, of course. So you can unmute yourself anytime.
Yeah, maybe I can start. Thanks, Sharada. Before maybe sharing, I wanted to also ask a question in the meantime. Yes, I sort of let's say started with the Venta knowledge and so on in the retreat with you. Before, I would say I knew like very little, only from what my friend Maka has perhaps shared with me. But I started, let's say, there, and now I'm like a little bit, let's say, not sure how to like dig in a little bit further, like which of the next courses to start. Unfortunately, I cannot really join the heroine's journey this year, but just to like because I feel like I'm missing a lot of the basics, let's say, and I don't want to like jump into something that is perhaps a little bit deeper, but I'm missing sort of the fun. And I of course really enjoyed the retreat and so on, but even there I felt that I was perhaps not following some stuff and so on, or also in the Navaratri, like some of the vocabulary that was shared along. Like I was just typing back all the time, like what's Shakti, what's what's Dharma and so on, because I was of course not knowing, right? So in which of these offerings maybe could someone start like with the really very basics to So you're prepared, let's say, for the next one that goes a little bit deeper.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Do you mean a live program
Either
or
both.
self-paced?
Yeah, either both. Like I can also like perhaps learn for myself a little bit before, because for example, I would really love to join the Priestess one in Bali, right?
Yeah.
I would like to be a little bit more prepared perhaps for that one, right? So in the meantime, I could already start some studies, maybe on my own, but not sure which one, if maybe the free ones you offer or if some of the pearls of wisdom, I don't know, but which one would you recommend for like the very, very basics of Vedanta?
I think actually the Devi Mantra course, because the
Mhm.
Devi Mantra, or like the living goddess, like if you really want to go into the goddess energy, could be the living goddess that plays shop, gives like a nice summary. Or if you want to go deeper, then actually the Devi Mantra, because there I really speak about Devi and what they mean, and you start to learn the mantras. I go into the story of each of the goddesses, so you know what they represent. We also have already wisdom of trauma there, embodiment practice. The ritual is already there, and it's self-paced. You can do it on your own.
Yeah.
You can watch 1 class a day, 3 classes a day, or once a week, like really based on your own timing. I think that would be a really great one. And other option is like for if you want to have like a mix of Devi and teachings. For example, if you want to have only the teachings and no Devi, then the Tattva Bodha, the Vedanta teachings, that would be really only pure teachings. And then the goddess initiation, also the free one, just to go through these mistress classes, or even the return to wholeness, those 2 free series, they're also like a great mix of everything. And then I start my weekly Pearls of Wisdom classes again end of October, which is soon, where we have Wednesday and Thursday, where you also all are welcome, where I teach every Wednesday and Thursday at 5 Bali time, which is 10 European time, where you can just start to sit in class and listen. But that's mainly more Vedic teachings. I don't go so much into the Devi embodiment and ritual. All of that is not there. It's really chanting and Vedanta. So those I would recommend to start with for that what you've shared now. And then the Devi Mantra, you're really great prepared for the priestess training.
Okay.
Want to prepare for the priestess training, or just that living goddess ritualize your life is also a preparation.
Okay, thank you, Sharada. And yeah, I really recommend the training as well. At least the one I had, it was very amazing and really opened my heart to receive more of it. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mariana.
I can continue.
Yeah. Can I spotlight you, Amanda?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just share a bit, or do you want to ask me some questions, or?
You can just go and share.
Okay. So I started with Sharada last year for the Heroine's Journey. I heard about her from Shambhala, and then I was in a moment of really like falling into a hole, feeling really, really depressed and stressed and anxious. And Navaratri came up on Instagram, and she talked a little bit about the heroine's journey, and I just like in a second felt that I needed to do it. How she spoke about femininity and just community online and embodiment practices. I didn't know, like I've only heard almost about Vedanta, but in some way it catched my interest a lot. And I would also actually say that to start is really good with Heroine's Journey, because we touches on Vedanta a lot, but for a beginner it was really, really good. And since then I've been studying with Devi School and Sharada, and I don't know if I could ever explain the transformation I've done. how I feel, the safety I feel within my body, the sensuality, sexuality, how I can, like, just these last days, I recognize how I walk around with a different, just tall spine and feeling so like with a ease in my own body. So hard to describe. I wish I had like a before and after Devi School picture. It's really like super intense. A lot of change is happening, but even though that can feel like a bit heavy at times, you have a like really big community, a big sangha, and Sharada and Sylvia and everyone who is working at this platform is just so committed. You will never ever feel that you get lost or you're in your own thoughts by yourself. You always feel very supported, and it's just amazing how we can do this through Zoom. Then I went to the Sacred Sexuality Retreat. That was also incredible, and just so it changes the view you have a lot on the patriarchal society, like how you can interact with your own sexuality and to speak about it and to investigate your pleasure. And that topic has actually become, I feel, like the most interested for me, to know your own pleasures and desires, because out of that I can create, and I can really be embodying the goddess. I don't know, I have so much gratitude to Sharada and everyone in the team. It's like when you're just a few months before I heard about Heroine's Journey, I was saying, because I was volunteering at Shambhala in Sweden, like, I really, really want to find my teacher. And someone says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And then it took a few bumps in the road, and then she just appeared. And now I can't believe that I have her as a teacher and a role model, such an inspiration. And I wish for every woman that I ever meet or who is alive on this earth to be able to join one of your programs, Sharada. It's incredible. So I'm honored, and I can really recommend Heroine's Journey. Was the biggest for me change wise, and the topics is incredible to go through. And if anyone has questions or want to talk to me, you can reach out. Maybe Sylvia or Sharada can give my Instagram or something, and you can just ask me whatever you like. Thank you, Sharada.
Thank you, Amanda, so much. It means so much to me. Thank you, thank you. Is it okay to put your Instagram here in the chat? I think it's Amanda_Roth. I think it is. Or you have another one also. Yeah, you have the Wild Roots, I think.
Yeah, the one Sylvia put is perfect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. It's gratitude. Maybe Anneli, would you like to share?
Yes. Thank you for those words, Amanda. I can so much relate to your experience. And thank you, Sharada, also for giving this tour within all the programs. And I got to relive my memories from the programs I have joined. And it feels like, wow, how can I express with words all that I have experienced this time. I think I started first program Heron's Journey 2020, and already before that I went to your Vedanta retreat in Sweden. So that was my first like intense experience, but Heron's Journey was really something. I started to, in so many ways, go deeper, feel like what it means to be a woman. I had wanted to know that for a very long time, but nothing before really healed. So it was like a huge gift to start to heal, to open up, to be seen, to be heard, to be really heard, seen, and loved as I am within this safe container of women. So extremely, like, it was so warm and so potent, full of power. So that really opened me up. And after that program, I wanted to like go deeper, and we had coaching. I had coaching with you, like for 2 or 3 months, and that was, yeah, don't know how to express, but so much grace. I could go deeper, have the guidance to go deeper, and I start to feel more as Amanda also expressed, like safe, and like having this body with a spine, and understanding more who I am, and with my personal wounds, and it's all about the double, the bird, the wings, like understanding, healing together, and to get the guidance. And then also the Vedanta classes has helped me so much. They are so grounding, and so incredibly nourishing, and it's just the answers. It gives answers to everything, really. So far, at least. And then now I am in the program, like Devi School Golden Womb program. We meet every weekend, and it's a blessing to continuously have this space, and to meet up, and to connect, and to be guided, and to go through all these themes. It's endless. There's so much to explore, and I feel like I'm growing all the time, and just, you know, being together with women, being inspired, and being seen, heard, loved, loving yourself, loving others. It's so incredibly healing. And I also wish for everyone who wants to explore, who feels like this feels interesting, just try or do it. There's so much grace, and I can't express with words how much, Sharada, how much you mean to me, the teachings, everything you offer. It's so whole, and now I'm like, wow, all the programs, I can see how I'm me myself. I want to, it's exactly what I long for, and you have so much in the offerings, and I will see what awaits in the future. Yeah, it's just so, there's so much healing, so much growth, so much love, and yeah, I I will continue, and maybe I will meet some of you there somewhere. I hope so. And there's so much I have not said, but yeah, I guess I will leave it there. It's yeah, it's life changing. It has been totally life changing. So thank you.
Thank you, Anneli. My heart is just like showering you with flowers. Both of you. Yeah, I love you all so much. Like Amanda, Anneli, Sylvia, like all of you, you're my family. Yeah, it's really my family. Thank you, Anneli. And Sylvia, would you like to share a few words? Sylvia is Devi School Maha Coordinatrix, Big Woman School, Big Woman Projects, Spider, has been with me also for 4 years, and not only studying, but also collaborating and co-playing and co-creating, and just poured her whole heart into her own studies and her own growth, but also supporting all the community, the students and friends and sisters and brothers in our Sangha, in our community. And so she has done, I think, all the programs as well. Would you like to share a few words, Devi?
I feel like I don't have to say anything after this introduction. Yes, I was just sitting here listening to you, Anneli and Amanda, and just feeling so, can relate so much. And I always laugh a little bit, make this joke while I'm, I trusted so much in the teachings that I basically jumped into it, and here I am, like, on the team. So if that doesn't mean something, I don't know what will. I joined, I peekabooed with Sharda during the Megankari teacher training. She came in and totally blew my mind, and my life just went around 180 degrees, and literally so many things shifted then. And it also became one of the hardest parts and times of my life. Not blaming Sharda for it, of course. Maybe a bit, no, I'm joking. And yeah, and I would have never, if somebody told me that I would change my whole life to go and live near my teacher and the teaching, because I trusted in it so much, I would be like, are you crazy? Like, I would not do that, but I did. And I moved next door like a crazy stalker. and then was blessed by learning through the classes, and just by osmosis, by just being in the presence and traveling together. And yeah, and I think that words are short. I can't find the words to express how life-changing it is, it has been, and it continues to be. And how it's really unpeening the layers of so many conditionings and so many false beliefs and so much pain, and coming into just being who you really are, fully. And I remember to this day, I remember this scene. I came up to you, Sharda, and I was interested in a mantra. I was a hardcore Ashtanga practitioner in a Megankari teacher training, which is funny. And I came up to her, and I asked her, like, oh, I'm interested in this mantra. Can you unfold it? And there she was with this most beautiful smile and just this love pouring out to me. And I had never experienced that kind of openness from a woman before, and that kind of welcoming. And it just hit me like in an overwhelming way. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to have what she's having. I want to have what she's having, and I want to come and be that, yeah, fearless, open, loving, kind person with so many values, speaking her truth. And so that's one of the many reasons why I'm still here, and it probably will be. It's like it's a journey of a lifetime now. I don't even see it as it's just my life. It just changed into my life fully, and it's the way I want to live. And I remember when I was walking into the Durga training, so the priestess some many years ago was the Durga training in Bali, and that's the first big course that I joined with Sharda. I won't say broken, because I don't believe that anymore, that you can be, but I was definitely hurt and overwhelmed and lost. I had just separated from a 10-year relationship, and I had no sense of identity. I had no idea who I am and where I'm going to be and what I'm going to do. Nothing. I didn't even want to exist anymore. That's where I was in that time when I was entering into the Durga training. And I just knew with my full heart I had to be there. Now, learning more about Durga, I understand why I was attracted to that fierce and courage of the Durga Devi goddess, who is just telling you that you are absolutely perfect and whole as you are. And I will forever remember this metaphor. I changed it into a sadhana, not really understanding what a sadhana was then, but every time when we were going into the evening sessions, it was dark, and when you come to visit us and under the banyan tree, you will see that you go past the temple and then you go down the stairs and over a river, and it can be quite dark. And so at some point, I really wanted to step into this fearlessness, and I was walking down. I could still see, but it was such a metaphor. I'm like, I'm walking into the darkness and I'm not scared. And I'm ready for everything that is going to come from that darkness, because I have a heart full of trust. And I had a heart full of trust because I had, so many women around me that were holding me and taught me that I can hold myself and trust in myself. So I can spend hours and hours in just saying how life-changing this course is. And you're very welcome to reach out if you have any questions. I do peekaboo here and there and answer your questions. And the same Anani and the same Amanda, I really wish for every woman to experience that touch of love and really understanding that it comes from within and it comes from you, and it's not something that is going to come from outside. But it takes time to unpeel those layers. And it's not a linear journey, it's really a cycle. And that's great. May all the waves come, because in the end, you're really just the ocean. So this is what I've learned and continue to learn. And I sign myself fully underneath with all my hands, all my legs, and my whole being. That's how much trust I have. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. I love you. Thank you, Sharda, for and oh.
Om Devi. Dhanyoham. Gratitude reigns. That is the blessing of the whole teaching tradition and the love that has been shared with me, and to be able to pass it on to my students and my friends, and they receive it is the greatest gift. So I feel very touched. Thank you, Sylvia, for you and all you have, all you are. Absolutely priceless. Soon she's going to have her name ceremony in Bali. So, Om Devi. So, I also actually have my blood sister here, Melanie, who just joined the team for Navaratri, and she probably will join the team, not only the Navaratri team, but also Devi School team. And if you want to say a few words, Melanie, being my sister, growing up with me, unfiltered.
Thank you, Sharada. I'm just so touched, and I'm very, very excited about that journey to go together with you, Sylvia, and the whole team. I experienced Navaratri Festival as I was able to help and support, and I just feel that love, that unconditional love that you really bring out into the world, especially to all the women. And yeah, I'm touched, and I just hear that calling. There's nothing holding back, and I'm very thankful for that experience, and also experiencing that as a blood sister. And we've been healing a lot the last 10 years, and it really shows me how it is possible to live in sisterhood and living a healthy relationship amongst sisters and women. And yeah, thank you. I'm very excited about the journey. Love you.
Love you, Melanie. She's my little sister, but she's not so little anymore. Beautiful. Thank you for your heart sharings and your words. It means the world to me. And Julia is saying here, so much heart in here. I've just discovered the Devi School. So grateful that we are creating this beautiful new world of being with each other. Yes, me too. Welcome, Julia. So anyone has a question, feel free to unmute yourself or write in the chat if any question to any of the programs or anything personally you want to ask me. All the questions are welcomed. And then after that, we will close this Devi School Tour. Where are you located? My base is Bali. I live in Bali since almost 15 years in Ubud, Panestanan, under the banyan tree. That's my home base. But right now I'm in Switzerland here with my family. My sister is upstairs and I'm here downstairs and visiting my family after a summer of teaching. And now I go back to Bali on Wednesday. Okay, so we're going to close with this. We're going to close the Devi School, and then there's a little something that we're going to announce. So if you want, you can close your eyes, or otherwise just take a deep breath and look at whatever is there in front of you. Again, bringing our awareness to the silent presence of our own being, which is the goddess, which is Devi. And with this, we're going to close our Devi School Tour. I want to say thank you to the goddess for this beautiful time we've had together, for the grace of Devi School, the Women Project, and the programs that have been birthed, that are now available to all of you who have joined us today live and that are going to watch the recordings. Our heart, our doors are open. We're here ready to fly with you, to live a life of dharma towards moksha, freedom, and rejoicing in the fullness of our adorable, most lovable being. Honoring all the gifts of sacred womanhood. We chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let there be peace on all levels. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om.